I spent 9 incredible years living in New Zealand. From snow-capped mountains to remote coastal hideaways, I got to know the country in a pretty unique way, and there were 2 towns that really stole my heart. In this video, I will share my top 2 picks for the best places to live in New Zealand and what van life was really like there. The good, the breathtaking, and the warden chasing me down the street kind of bad. And if you stick around to the end, I will also reveal my absolute favorite beach in all of Aotearoa. A hidden gem that's peaceful, magical, and chances are you have never heard of it. So whether you are dreaming of small town charm, a strong sense of community, or you are just curious how I managed 5 years of freedom camping without a single fine, buckle up. This one is for you. First up, the town where mountains meet the sea. If you have been following me for a while, this one won't come as a surprise. My first top pick is Kaikōura, the place I called home for several years, and an absolute paradise for any marine wildlife lover like myself. Nestled between the majestic seaward Kaikōura ranges and the Pacific Ocean, the little coastal town lies roughly halfway between Christchurch and Picton. It's most famous for whale watching, but that's the beginning. It's a full-on marine wonderland. This was where I swam with seals for the first time, and where I spent countless sunny days in the water with super friendly dusky dolphins, the cheeky acrobats of the sea. The name Kaikōura comes from Te Reo Maori. Kai means food and Koura means crayfish. The local crayfish are legendary, but personally I think they look better alive than on a plate. What makes Kaikōura extra special is the deep underwater canyon just off the coast. It creates the perfect feeding ground for all kinds of whales, including resident sperm whales that live here year-round. During the migration seasons, you can also spot humpbacks heading to or from Tonga, and even blue whales, fin whales, southern whites, and orcas. And the dolphins? You have got dusky dolphins in massive pods, Hector's dolphins with their adorable rounded dorsal fins, and occasionally a common dolphin joins the dusky party. I spent a lot of time at the Kaikōura Aero Club, training and taking friends and friends of friends up in the air to see the whales from above. Word spread faster than a northerly wind, and soon I had a queue of people wanting joyrides. Honestly, if Kaikōura wasn't so cold in winter, I might still be there. But van life there? Let's just say, challenging. The freedom camping bylaw was a bit of a maze. I read it thoroughly, like highlighted and annotated thoroughly. I made sure I was always legal, moving daily, never more than 3 nights at the same spot per month. I even kept a logbook. Total nerd. I learned which spots were Maori owned and which were railway land. And I made friends who occasionally let me park in their driveways. Absolute legends. But the freedom camping wardens? Not so legendary. One particular lady seemed to think chasing me around town was her life's mission. She once put a warning on my van while I wasn't even there. I was clearly at work. Another time she literally waited by my van as I was walking home from work to suggest I find accommodation. And then there was the time when she sniffed me out one morning and did a happy dance while placing a fine on my windscreen, which, surprise, was on Maori land and completely unenforceable. I'm convinced she pre-filled that fine in anticipation, because it had all my details, but she whipped it up so quick. Too bad it went straight to the bin. Now, New Zealand has this lovely system for self-contained vehicles. You need an inspection and sticker proving you have a toilet, sink, and all that jazz. I'm just so glad I don't have to deal with that anymore, and I pray every day that Australia never gets this crazy. My van was fully certified, but that didn't stop one overly curious warden from trying to invite himself in to inspect it, Convinced I couldn't possibly have a toilet or running water, I mean, the van is huge, mate. Does it really look like there isn't a room for a toilet? To make it worse, he tried to slap me with a fine too. That one also got tossed out by the council. In the end, not a single fine stuck, and despite the drama, I still loved Kaikōura. No warden could chase me out, but the cold, that finally did me in. So when another summer came to an end, I packed up and headed north, somewhere warmer. Next stop, hippie vibes and wine tours. My second top place to live in New Zealand isn't technically a town, it's an island. And honestly, it wasn't on my radar at all, until two different people on two separate occasions mentioned it. I took it as a sign from the universe and moved to Waiheke Island. Known for its artsy, eco-conscious, community-driven vibe, Waiheke is like a mini paradise, tucked just a 40 minutes ferry ride from Auckland. Before I arrived, I read a terrifying article claiming that campers had to leave the island every 3 days to empty their toilets. There was no dump station, and the bylaws sounded strict. I almost didn't go. But I trusted the universe, and when I arrived, I couldn't find that bylaw anywhere. What I did find was a local wastewater treatment plant, and when I came by to ask if I could sometimes dump my toilet there, the woman was a bit hesitant at first, until she warmed up. In the end, I gave her $20 and a smile, and we were both happy. VanLife on Waiheke turned out to be way more relaxed than I expected. I wasn't the only one living in a van either. They even had free hot showers at the sports ground, though you had to bring your own shower curtain if you wanted privacy. During the floods, the council officially invited vanlifers to park at the sports ground for safety. Try imagining that in Kaikōura. Didn't think so. Waiheke had this amazing event called Meat Free Monday, where each month someone would cook a vegan feast inspired by their national cuisine. I arrived just in time for a check night. Did I need another sign from the universe that I was at the right place? We had cauliflower soup, svíčková, a creamy root vegetable sauce served with dumplings, and let me tell you, the bundt cake was better than my grandma's. Sorry, babička. The island had a real sense of community. Every Friday, volunteers came together to cook free meals from food that would have gone to waste, and the vibe was always warm, inclusive, and genuine. And every full moon, people would gather around a fire on a beach, play music, dance, and celebrate. I loved the farmers' market, the fresh produce, the langosh, and especially the bread from this one German bakery. Absolute sourdough heaven. Oh, and sometimes they made apple strudel. Oh my gosh, I love apple strudel. I worked as an admin at the local bus company and also as a driver and tour guide for wine tastings. I honestly couldn't believe I was paid so well to basically have fun. If I went back tomorrow, I could probably just pick up where I left off. With my new HR license, I could drive buses by day, sip wine by afternoon, and dance by the fire at night. And yes, there are dolphins, the big kind. Bottlenose dolphins sometimes cruise past, and even orcas have been spotted around the island. I had one chance to swim with the dolphins, but I hesitated, thinking I would have plenty more. Spoiler alert, I didn't. Lesson learned. Waiheke is full of quirky surprises. For instance, there is a penguin rescue station, where you can volunteer as a penguin lifeguard. Your job? Just watch the penguins swim and make sure none of them drowns. At first I thought my friend was pulling my leg, but it's true. If their feathers are in poor condition, they may not be waterproof. And yes, a penguin can actually drown. I also discovered a little eel pond where you can pet the eels. When I had the time, I would sometimes take my customers to visit a local bird sanctuary, as the locals called it, which they always found more interesting than expected. Since Waiheke falls under Auckland's jurisdiction, People aren't allowed to keep roosters because of the noise. So when someone accidentally breeds one, they often drop it off at the sanctuary. It's not allowed, of course, but volunteers make sure the birds have food and water. And the wild ducks? I'm not entirely sure, but I think they just discovered the free buffet, and now there are more ducks than roosters. One thing that especially impressed my American customers was a clever New Zealand invention called Sealex. A lot of Waiheke locals own one. It's a boat that doesn't need a trailer. It just drives itself into the water on wheels, then lifts the wheels up and functions like a regular boat. Waiheke was magical. I still can't believe it took me so long to find it. And finally, my favorite beach in all of New Zealand. To get there, we need to head even further north, because if you haven't noticed yet, I really love warm places. Tucked away on the Karikari Peninsula, there is a beach called Waiheke. It's hands down my favorite beach in the entire country. It's quiet, spacious, stunning, and has this hill you can hike up for a 360-degree view that will blow your mind. The hill is believed to be a sacred Maori site, and if you are sensitive to energy, you will definitely feel it. I even did a little Reiki ceremony up there once. Down by the shore there are hidden caves, and every time I visit, I find something new. It's the kind of place that makes you forget about time, rules, fines, and even crazy wardens. So, what do you think? Do you agree with my picks? Or do you have your own favorite town or beach in New Zealand? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for more adventures, because this journey is just getting started.